Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell thinks that Americans are lazy and have gotten too fat and comfortable on stimulus money to go back to work. During an event in Paducah, Kentucky, McConnell had offered commentary about the so-called labor shortage, which again is not a real thing. There's actually no labor shortage. There's plenty of people out there that are willing to work and that are actually working. But there are people that want better jobs and better pay. Now, here's what McConnell said, quote, "You've got a whole lot of people sitting on the sidelines because, frankly, they're flush for the moment." They're flush. Meaning they've got lots of money. Well, I don't know anybody flush with cash. I don't know anybody who's choosing not to work because of the $1,400 stimmy checks that they got. I don't know. I don't know anybody. What I do know is that there are plenty of people that are tired of being underpaid and undervalued and have left these lower paying jobs to get higher paying jobs. Because during the pandemic, first of all, you had 1 million people dead that have died from COVID. So that's 1 million jobs probably that have opened up, or, it's not a 1-for-1, but, generally there's a lot more jobs that have opened up than before. You had people that retired. You have people that don't go back to work or can't go back to work because they can't afford childcare. And so you have all these people with all these different reasons for not going back to work in a lot of these low-wage industries. And so, nonetheless, McConnell is going to continue. Here's what he said. "What we've got to hope is once they run out of money, they'll start concluding it's better to work than not to work." So, understand that he is telling everyone that the American people, that they're lazy, and that he hopes that you run out of money soon so that you can go back to work. And of course, that's just what he said. And if that's not bad enough, let's look at the subtext, right? What he means here is that he can't wait for people to have to go back to the days where you have to take whatever low-wage garbage job that these corporations have. These same corporations who are the ones that are flush with cash. Take whatever wage that they want to give you, which is going to be low. It's going to be very low. But take it anyway because, you don't have any money. You're broke and desperate. Again, the only people that are sitting on these giant piles of money are big corporate CEOs. Again, let me give you some numbers here. For all of 2021, corporate profits, this is pre-tax, increased by 25%. That's over the last year, the year before, to about $2.8 trillion. That's untaxed profit. That is from non-financial U.S. companies. So this isn't even counting the banks that also got trillions of dollars in free money from the Fed. They had their most profitable year since 1950, according to numbers from Bloomberg. After tax, that margin was still about 13%. An altitude hit they described in only one other quarter during the last 70 years. Wow. And in the first quarter of 2022, after-tax profits increased about 1.5%. Not dramatic, but still increased in the first quarter from the end of 2021, and were up 15.7% from the same time the year before. So, there's more. This is also while after-tax profits, the share of gross value added for non-financial corporations, saw profit margins wider than any other period since 1950. Again, this is while compensation for workers, again, this is what you get as a percentage of gross value added, slipped down to 59.5%, the lowest since 2019. So corporations seeing record profits, even though they did decrease, to be fair, slightly since last year. But you have workers whose pay continues to slip. Oh, but you know what? Hey, you got that $1,400 stimmy check that somehow you've made stretch 2 years somehow, and you're flush with cash. Really? Really? You think that's the problem? Of course they think that's the problem. They have no idea what it's like. No idea. So incredibly just disconnected from average people. Now, here's the problem, okay? If companies want to hire people, and they are, by the way, I'll give you some numbers on that. But if you want to attract people to work for you, guess what? You could offer higher wages. You could have more flexible workplaces. A lot of people are now choosing to prefer to work from home because they can. And look, if your job can be done from home, why should you have to commute your ass to the office to sit around a bunch of people who you might not like, who might smell bad? I've worked around people who smell bad. Not fun. It's not a fun situation. Drive all that way on $5 a gallon gas to go sit in the office to do a job that you could actually do at home. And yet you have all these companies, in order to justify renting or buying or leasing this office space, pushed to them by, of course, these realtors or places that will rent out this office space. Get people back to the office. Get people back to the office. You got to get people back to the office. Why? Oh, because it makes them money. Oh, well, now we know why. So, but no, if you can get your job done from home, you should be able to do that. But here's the other thing, right? Now, in addition to these flexible workplaces and higher wages, you could also ensure that workers who have families have affordable childcare. That would be nice. It could also require or eliminate the requirement of having to have 2 years of experience to be an entry-level secretary. I know. Wait. It's supposed to be entry-level. Why is there an experience cap? Why do you have to be a year or 2 years of experience? It doesn't make any sense. But here's the thing, too. It's not as if people aren't working. Unemployment is actually down. Employment is really high. The employment to population ratio for Americans aged 25 to 54 is above July 2019 levels. That's according to data from the St. Louis Federal Reserve. Unemployment has hit a low of 3.6%. So you have Americans that are working. But yet there's this refrain, and it's annoying every time I hear it. Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work. No. How about nobody wants to work for you? That's the problem. Nobody wants to work for you. The jobs, the industries that are struggling to retain people, well, guess what? You're not going to be surprised that they are low-wage service sector industries. That's it. So the same places that underpay people are having a hard time keeping people at work. Weird how that happens. No, not weird. It's funny because remember all that Republican advice when, we wanted to raise the wage, right? Hey, we really could use, a raise in the minimum wage, $7 an hour. It's not cutting it. Okay, it's not cutting it. You can't live anywhere on a low wage. You know what they said? They said, well, go get a better job. If you don't like the money that you're making at your job, go get a better one. Let the kids do the work, right? And then what happened? They did exactly that. They went and got better jobs, as soon as those jobs open, because of you had these different reasons that I outlined earlier in the video. And now, the same people that told you that have surprised Pikachu face. Oh my God, why is nobody working at this? Why do I have to wait for my burger and my fries? I've had to wait for 20 minutes in line. Why is nobody wants to work? Nobody wants to work. No, nobody wants to work for you. And now you have Mitch McConnell out there telling everybody that he hopes that you become so broke and desperate that you will come crawling back into these jobs that use you, abuse you, and pay you like shit. That's Mitch McConnell. That's these Republicans. And to that I say, no deal. Adapt or die, bitch. It's a free market.